When I was a kid, I would always open a fresh new notebook with excitement. I would want to scribble an idea or start something new, and as soon as I would put ink to paper, I would look at it with a sense of anxiety. Extremely critically, like an entitled person looks at a badly made dish at a high end restaurant and they have already called the manager and now they're yelling at him, telling him in how many ways he messed up, and now they want it comped off the bill, and you get the idea. So, what I would end up doing is just tearing the page, and I would do it again and again and again, tearing page after page, trying to write the perfect first words on paper. Now, of course, I stopped tearing up pages like that later on for the sake of the trees and the forests, but I would always have a shadow of self-doubt, and not to forget about the nagging critical voice deep inside our mind which says, "You are not good enough." Now, when it came to my work, it sort of helped me in many ways to always strive for better. But it soon started infecting my whole life. What I mean by that is, I would look at my own life like a book with chapters, if you will. And I soon realized that I do not like many parts that I have already written. And no matter what I do, I cannot change it. Then came the burden of writing the perfect future chapters, which I couldn't do, because 1, I feared failing so much, and 2, maybe there is no such thing as the perfect future. The idea of doing this life right followed me like a shadow. So many pages already written unconsciously without awareness. But I can be better, right? Of course. So the next logical thing to do is to chalk out a plan. Short term, long term, whatever. What happened next? Well, it never really works out, does it now? Life never seems to go 100% your way no matter how hard you try. It will always find a way to ruin your puny human plans in one way or another. Until you realize it is life's way of nudging you to grow, to be more adventurous, more flexible, less rigid, more accepting, more open, less closed, and more open to newer possibilities. But admittedly, some of these nudges from life often feels like a kick to the stomach, or sometimes even like a kick below the belt. So some lessons come hard and seem to cut deep. But nevertheless, soon after we fall, we learn to brush the dirt off our knees and get back up. Life is always an opportunity for the brave and courageous. So even when things don't pan out the way I intended it to, I thank the universe or existence for it. Because in this chaotic mess of our lives, there is always a twist coming. There is always a surprise right around the corner. It could jump at you at any moment and say, "Boo." And you could jump and get scared at times, but I found it's better to just laugh at yourself most times. Laugh at the fact that for a second there you thought you had it all figured out. Laugh at your own naivety of presuming everything will go according to plan. But more importantly, laugh at your own egocentric, incorrect estimation of what is yet to be. I say egocentric because let's face it, whatever plan we can come up with for ourselves will always be way smaller than what is in store for us in the vaults of time. An openness of such a kind lures in the most magical and miraculous experiences of our lives. Things I never imagined possible has happened to me, and I'm sure it has happened to you too. Out in the boundaries of the edge of the limits of our thinking, the magic of life resides, and it plays from there to the forever beyond. Our personal silly idea of perfect is nothing but a figment of our imagination, and an inevitable deviation from it, a disappointment. I don't think we should manage our lives, maybe only manage how we approach it. And I don't mean you give up your plans for the future. Of course, having a bigger picture, a strategy, and a blueprint to success in whatever you want to do is useful, but only if it doesn't bind you and burden you. You can never think and assess all the variables involved in making a decision. but you still think of as many factors as you can and then make a snap decision. As there is no such thing as a perfect decision. You take the call and you own it. That's the best you can do. So when I got bored sitting in school and my notebooks weren't so new, I would turn to the last page and write my heart out. This is where I would be free to do whatever I wanted to without the fear of anyone else's judgment, but mostly my own judgment. In this relaxation of rules of perfection, my creativity thrived the best. How would our lives be if fear of being judged is absent? It would be quite freeing, to say the least. After we get tired of what we should be doing, in the midst of laziness and boredom, when we are procrastinating achieving the unrealistic ideal version of ourselves, we sometimes become free to be ourselves. So what I'm saying to you is, you must play your life like an instrument you're in love with, without being afraid of hitting the wrong notes, because there aren't any. I am not at all for toxic positivity-filled fluffy videos which make you feel good for a short period of time and get you nowhere. I share what has worked for me. But if all of this sounds like pseudo-spiritual crap to you, then sorry for wasting your time. But if any of this has struck a chord deep within you and you're still listening, and if you're willing to take a chance, I am too. So here, I have a message for you. The sun is shining behind you, and you must turn to face it. Remember where you come from, but do not look back. You are not going that way. And tomorrow will be a new day, but more importantly, today is a new day. And this moment, another new one, as new as it can ever be. And we get to start afresh and paint our new life. Make it beautiful. Make it crazily, insanely, nonsensically beautiful. Free yourself from your idea of being perfect. Dance to the music knowing there are no wrong moves. And when you dance with such abandon, you shall dance the cosmic dance with this universe. And you shall embrace it as it already embraces you.